I just to briefly touch on like Tom Swift. I'm a bit worried about Tom Swift.
The show or the character?
The show for the character. And that's
Mm.
only because I do like every episode that Tom learns a lesson, but it is starting to be like just doesn't seem like the things that he learned previously he's bringing into the next episode. And that was most glaring in his hallway conversation with Zenzi, in which he couldn't take a moment to realize that like the cotillion is a lot for her, and the fact that he belittled her at the same time, and just didn't want to. She's supposed to be his best friend, but he can't take a moment. Like he can't understand why it's bothersome that he's dismissing her like that. I was like, it just didn't feel true to what we know about Tom now, or at least that where he should be. And what is that, episode 4?
Yeah, that was my biggest issue with the episode, because it's that scene stuck out for two reasons. At one point, I was like, "Yes, Zanzi, take him down," because that was an amazing comeback. But on the other hand, yeah, I used to say the same thing about Oliver Queen on Arrow. They'd learn important life-changing lessons, and then in the next episode, it would literally be like clean slate, reset, and that's something you usually see in sitcoms. And I hate it when they try to bring it into dramas. I know Tom Swift does comedy really well, but I felt like that hurt his character more just because of how closely knit these last couple of episodes have been. If it had been maybe 10 episodes down the line, that would have been fine. People make mistakes, whatever. But that was too close together for me. He's learned those lessons before. And it's not even the fact that he made the mistake of dismissing her. It's how he dismissed her by saying, let's get this unremarkable drama out of the way. I just didn't feel that whatsoever.
Yeah, it's rough because I do actually enjoy Tom Swift as a whole. So I just want that portion of it to be a bit better, especially because Tina does a great job of balancing Tom's arrogance and his unwillingness to listen with Tom's vulnerability. And when he does actually listen, like I wish I could remember Claire's assistant's name, but the fact that he took the time to study their drawings and the design concepts and wants to elevate them to a new position in the company, after taking a moment to like really check in, I thought that was great. I thought the way he helped Leno's mom in that, like thinking on his feet to get the monocle AR so that you could show the garden so she would calm down. That was really cool. So I just want one line where he gets it, not when he's arguing, rather than like he comes off very abrasive and doesn't want to listen and then goes about his mission. And then we come back and like Zenzi's apologizing to him, or he's saying something after having some internal moments. And I just want him to explicitly say how he's feeling about fights like that, rather than coming back like we wrap the episode, he's learned his lesson, now he apologizes. In the next episode, I can prepare for him to be doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, they do that a lot with Fallon on Dynasty, and she sometimes to varied success, she learns her lesson and it carries over. But I think she's really good at understanding what she did wrong and how she can contribute to other people's pain. But I will say this episode of Tom Swift fell victim once again to my inability to concentrate after Superman and Lois. So I was like, I can't, nothing's computing, nothing's sticking in my brain. And I wasn't enjoying the first half of the episode. And I don't know if that was why, because I couldn't concentrate, or if I just this was just a weaker episode to me, which is fine. Like we all have weeks where we don't really love everything that the show does. But I think I'm gonna have to revisit this one.
I feel you, because coming off of the Sabrina and Lois season 2 finale, I was like rushing and I was watching and I was like, we're 15 minutes in and I'm here, but I'm not here.
Yeah.
My brain is still in Smallville, which is why I agree, Reed, with what you said. I think it was last pod. They should never have paired these two together. There's too much happening on Superman and Lois to then jump in to Tom Swift, which is giving you a lot with different textures and trying to it's not that you can't keep up with Tom Swift. It's just that if your brain has already slowed down for Superman and Lois, trying to pick that speed back up for Tom Swift is difficult.
Yeah, I was distracted. And they do overwhelm you in the first couple of minutes with tech talk or mission talk or recounting whatever they're doing, exposition to catch you up on what's happened so far. And I do agree that off the back of a really intense episode of Superman and Lois, it's very hard to stay in tune. I know that especially when there's no commercials, sometimes between the last few minutes of Superman and Lois and the first few minutes of Tom Swift, it's a lot. And a lighter show before Tom Swift, or have Tom Swift start the evening, might have been the better choice.
For sure. But still, it was an okay episode. Sometimes episodes can be middling. It seemed like the point of this episode was to learn more about what's going on with Lino and his powers and how it's connected to his mom. And then Tom getting snatched. So that we can see whatever this weird obstacle course he'll be running in the next episode is.
While I'm throwing out free ideas, I just counted on my fingers. There's about the same episode count left for Tom Swift and Dynasty. Move Tom Swift to Friday for me, please.
Yes.
Let my dream be a reality just for 8 weeks.
Yes. Yeah, like manifesting that. CW Mole, please pay attention to what we can say. But yeah, other than that, like I'm more excited for next week's episode. I think it's next week, of Tom Swift. The Cotillion was nice though. Everyone looked beautiful. I loved the setup. One of the things that Lorraine is such a complicated character.
I loved her in this episode though.
She was good. And the one time I didn't was when I was like, girl, you said at the beginning of the episode that Isaac is family, and then you just fired this man at the end of the episode.
Yeah, that was a lot.
That was a lot, but she was really great.
Yeah.
And I love I think my favorite moment isn't actually when she thinks she's talking to Tom, but she's actually talking to Isaac about loving Tom. My favorite moment is when she's explaining to Isaac how he overstepped. And that and because there are things you didn't know about Leno's past and my past with my sister, and that boy is my son. And I thought, I was like, oh yes, gravity, like because actions have consequences. I wish he didn't get fired, but he did not have any of the information or the tools, but he brought a bad situation into the home without knowing context.
Yeah, I really like her role, or Lorraine's role in that story, more so than her one in the actual main story, because of course, since she has to be an obstacle to Tom, sometimes she can be written, I don't want to say robotically, but like just kind of in a going through the motions way. Whereas in this one, you really felt how tied and emotional she was to the to Leno's story, and that was surprising for me. And I think that was my favorite part of the episode.
Yeah, I see what you mean by robotic, or well, not robotic, but like going through the motions. Opening scene with Claire, and I think that's the opening scene with Claire, Tom, and her, where she does not question that Claire has all the has complete control over the funds. She just says it, and I was like, "Are we under mind control right now? Are you more relaxed? Do you have the lip balm on? Because you're saying things, but you're not questioning it, and I'm confused."
Yeah, I feel like there should have been more aftermath there.
Yeah. But still, good episode. We'll see what they give us next week.